That should be me live. I hope I am live, and I hope you're picking me up and the music up perfectly fine. Hello, everyone.
Hello!
And that was Dane saying hello.
I'm a disappointed voice today.
Evolution Triangle says hello, Dane. Evolution Triangle says hello. Hello, Moosh. How loud is the music in the background? Is that an acceptable volume compared to my voice, or do we think it needs to be slightly lower? That is assuming the background music is fine. Excellent. Now, I'm only putting the music on in the background because Evolution Square assured me that the Jurassic World soundtrack is not copyrighted. So if I get copyright strikes, I know exactly who I'm going to play. Right. Obviously, I have to get all the usual YouTube stuff out of the way, so please remember to like and comment and subscribe if you have not already. If you're watching this after the fact, please do remember to like and to subscribe to the channel if you're totally new here. We're up to 87 subscribers as of today's date, which is the 20th of the 6th. All the subscribers we can get will be nice. And today we're getting back to Let Us Write a Better Jurassic World show than Camp Cretaceous. Just to clarify what we've already done, we've already got 3 episodes done. I'll quickly run through what we have already. So, episode 1, we have a bit of Isla Sorna and Ceratosaurus Nomage. We have an introduction to Claire Deering coming to Isla Nublar for the first time. We have Cabot Finch and Deering meeting each other for the first time. That music is definitely too loud. Turn that down a little bit. And we have the Ceratosaurus coming to the island in episode 2. We have Claire Deering and Sarah Harding meeting each other. We have a bit of Biosyn getting involved. And we have Claire Deering getting friendly with a new Pseudoceratops. Hello, Mouse Queen. Welcome to the stream. In Act 3, we had Mizrani and Dodgson. We got Dodgson. We have Mizrani and Dodgson having a bit of a conversation, and Mizrani threatening Dodgson. And in Episode 3, we went to Hammond and Mizrani talking about Woo, basically. And we also have the ACU team back on Isla Sorna, having captured some Herrerasaurus for the park and leaving one of their number behind to be killed by a Spinosaurus. Focused on Rexy. And episode 6, we're going to have Tim and Lex. But starting with episode 4, so we're titling it Woo. I was tempted to call it Who Woo, but I thought that was a bit too silly. So, Act 1 for episode 4. We've been introduced to we've been introduced to everyone, mostly. This is going to be after so Mizrani has Doctor Who. Yes, exactly. Actually, can I have actually put that to 3. 3 is good. So Mizrani has gone after Doctor Wu after Hammond has told him where he is. So, are we going to have Mizrani and Wu having a conversation, or are we just going to assume that happens off screen and start with Wu already being on Nublar? What do people think? Also, do be aware there's about a 10-second latency on the chat to Wu on Nublar, says Evolution Triangle. Okay. Dr. Wu is already on Nublar. Masrani having made him... Maybe a quick, cold, open conversation. Like it. Masrani having made him an offer he could not refuse. Let's actually do like a little sort of internal monologue while we watch Dr. Wu walking around the labs. So what sort of thing do you think Wu or Masrani would say to one another? Also, this music fits Dr. Wu immensely. How about something... I think Masrani would probably appeal to Dr. Wu's ego quite a lot. So let's do... So Wu would ask, why do you think I would want to ever go back to those islands? And Masrani will respond, trying to get the mannerisms of Masrani correct. So Henry, you were first and the best at this sort of job. Reference JP1 talking about T-Rex. We could definitely include that somewhere. Best at this sort of job. I need you back on those islands. What makes... how about reference the Rex in JP1? Actually, let's have Wu say, like, if you want me back, you'll have to offer more than Hammond did. And we'll leave it unsure what he offered there. So in the labs, Wu and Masrani finds Wu in the labs. Wu looks impressed, but in his usual understated fashion. $1 million! Have Wu and his money. I think we can infer that perhaps Wu was offered something other than money. So he will give Masrani his usual Cheshire grin, Cheshire smile. Which Masrani returns. Who wants to be a rich jerk? So Masrani will ask Wu if he's impressed and has everything he needs. Wu will answer yes. However, he is surprised that they have not... actually, we will answer yes. And ask whether Masrani has located the old JP1 facilities yet. Wu believes that some of the hard drives and data may be recoverable. Because it makes sense, like, hard stuff contained on hard drives, as long as the hard drives are kept in reasonable condition, you can recover the data. It doesn't disappear. Is that ye final hybrid? I have no shame. Ask the audience of Velociraptors. Because they can see the DNA is missing. Yes. Which might help to reclone some of the original JP1 species. Masrani says that they have had trouble finding the old site. Wu mentions he may be able to help with that, and we pan to Act 2. We haven't had any attempts to kill Claire Deering yet. So Act 2. Whoops. So Act 2. What do we have in Act 2? Yeah, Claire isn't in this part, so we can't kill her. So, we cut to the forests of Nublar, full of strange noises and chirps. Masrani has brought a logging team in to cut a path through the jungle. Following a route that Wu has given. Well, I think we can have a little bit of a reference here. So one of the logging crew find an old JP1 light pyramid in the overgrown jungle, indicating that they are on the right path. Wu should be exploring the old park area to find place for a new lab when Wu finds the raptor eggs. On Isla Nublar. Oh no, we're not having raptors in this series at all, actually, Roosh. So I've pinned a comment at the top with the current dinosaur list. He should know about the breeding yet. We could have some sort of veiled reference in there. But I think we'll go with something not too heavy. So they find the old light pyramid to indicate they're on the right path. Wu is carefully watching from a jeep. And we get a flashback of him in JP1. So I think if we have in this flashback, so flashback, the lab's on Isla Sorna. He and Hammond are waiting nervously around an incubator. Wu will be calmly checking his computers while Hammond is pacing, nervously but excited. I think this could be the birth of. Does this have to be canon based? So Eagles, we're being a bit loose with the canon. So I mean, Hammond is alive just prior to Jurassic World opening, and we're making Claire Dearing slightly older than she's presented in the movies because she's way too young. By the sounds of it, it sounds like she interns from 18 years old under Masrani and basically becomes the manager of Jurassic World from the very beginning, which is just would never happen. So a little bit of canon bending will be fine. But I think in this flashback scene with Wu, we can have the birth of Rexy. So Hammond's pacing nervously but excited. He asks Wu how he can be so calm at a moment like this. Wu just responds that it's all just science to him. Rexy or the first episode? I think Rexy, because it just has a nice mirror to the Indominus Rex at the beginning of Jurassic World. Is Claire gonna be more likable? Well, actually, in this we've got the idea that Claire is going to become the person she is in Jurassic World because of the events that we see in this series. So, Hammond is about to argue with Wu when there is a loud and noticeable crack from behind them. Oops, damn my spelling. Hammond excitedly goes over to have a look, while Wu follows with more curiosity. The music has changed perfectly. We see an incubator such similar to JP1. She will be a dead person. Well, let's hope she dies in the third film, shall we? Make them notice that Rexy was larger than the other Rexes. Oh, so you think we should have multiple Rex being born, and Rexy will be the biggest? I quite like that idea, Eagles. And a number of eggs. One is clearly hatching. Hammond carefully removes some of the eggshell, and we see a young baby T-Rex. The Rex. I think we need to do something to make it obvious that this T-Rex is Rexy. More more than size, because I think as a Rex would all be a similar size when born. First with 23 hours, but I'm late with 18, so I have no idea how far you show. Please stay, Herman. You mean we're still ongoing? Maybe some genetic pattern on the egg. I'm thinking something more personal than that. Maybe she can just like like stare down Wu or something. Just like Rexy has scars. She got anything else in the egg clutch. Well, this is literally her being born, so she wouldn't have scars or anything like that yet. So Herman, Herman, if you actually watch like the first 10 minutes back, I very quickly give everyone a fast sort of rapid intro. So if you watch the first 10 minutes back and then jump back forwards to the current, that will get you up to speed. Maybe she stares Hammond in the eye and catches his curiosity. I like that, actually, Eagles. The Rex doesn't make any noise. She just stares Hammond down in the same way that she stared down. Doesn't she do that in JP1? She like gives someone the death stare. Can't remember who she does it to. I think it's Grant. JP1. And catches Hammond's curiosity. He remarks that this one has attitude. Yeah, she's waving the light in Rexy's eye, yeah. She remarks the head tilt. The head tilt, yes. Hang on, she stares Herman in the same way that she stared down Lex in JP1 with the same head tilt. And catches Hammond's curiosity, remarks this one has attitude. And he decides there and then that this will be the first Rex at the park. So Hammond decides that that'll be the first Rex at the park. Wu just looks at him. In amusement, since it's all just science to him. He continues with his job while Hammond practically what's the term? Baby talks the Rex. Baby talks Rexy. So, back in the present day. The logging team come across An old waterfall along the side of the road. They are following. Right. Now this will be the bits that you guys can definitely help with. How are they going to with helipad? What? No, so this will be this is them finding Nedry's body and Nedry's jeep. So how are we going to present them finding the body in the jeep? Could the Dilophosaurus still be around? We could definitely include that. We could have their chirping in the background, which sort of catches Wu's attention. And that could be like when Wu comes out of the jeep and sort of runs over to them. Why don't the logging team wouldn't be able to because they haven't encountered Dilophosaurus yet, but Wu would know for a fact what that noise was. Oh, they shouldn't be able to identify the body. He got spit on, mauled, and eaten. I don't think the lights of the jeep would still be on because this would be years and years later, so the batteries would be dead. Maybe one of them trips over the because Nedry was tying that cable around the tree, wasn't he? So maybe one of them trips over the tree. And that's when they actually see the jeep on top of the waterfall. Cables in front of the jeep. Yeah, that's what I mean. So, hello, Dynabit. So they're on that road that Nedry is trying to get to in JP1. The road at the bottom of that waterfall. Yeah, that's what I mean. Triangle. So they are actually on that road that he's trying to get to, so they would be able to trip over. One of them could trip over that cable. It's Decayed and dead because of the badge. They figure out who it is. Okay, so one of the team trips over an old heavy-duty cable. And panning the camera up, we see the old jeep entangled in vines and moss, but still with plenty of the JP1 red paintwork on it, visible. Be the clumsy worker. Maybe a feeling of distress comes on them. Maybe them you see. No, the can was buried in mud. It's also a bit telltale-y to have them just find the can. I don't know, maybe. The body should be covered in the toilet. Yeah, so they find the jeep. Masrani is with them. and is curious, so climbs up with several others to see what they have found. Meanwhile, there's a Dilophosaurus chap. And Wu is immediately alerted. He looks around in the jeep, but sees nothing. But is clearly disturbed. He climbs out the jeep, listening intently. Meanwhile, back at the jeep. One of the workforce forces open the door and then recoils in horror. When Masrani has a look inside, we see just a skeleton. Because he's been there since 93 and it's sometime early 2000s, so there's definitely enough time for that to be just skeletal now. Neju's still likely have his engine badge, so yeah, that would still likely be there somewhere. They put the body in the control room with a sign that says "Death to Traitors." Really, Moosh? So, Mizrani, we see just a skeleton in an old, tattered yellow raincoat. And the camera pans onto the dirty badge of Dennis Nedry, still hanging from it. There is another louder chirp. And it catches the attention of everyone, including Masrani. Wu runs to the bottom of the waterfall. I think the spit would... I see you didn't like the theory about Rexy being the JP1 Rex that broke out. No, Rexy is the JP1 Rex. We know that. That's why we've had her be born. Don't you should say? Yeah, the Dilophosaurus spit would have probably denatured and dissolved by that time. However, we're about to have Dilophosaurus like attack them in the forest, so, or at least one of them. Wu wants the bottom of the waterfall and is taken aback by seeing the old jeep. He takes one look at Masrani and says, Dennis, as if already knowing. Because I think Wu is intelligent enough to have put two and two together. Like, he would see the look in their eyes, he would have seen the jeep, he would have known that Dennis was missing. So... yeah, so Rexy being born... yes, it was a flashback there. Is it meant to be one or two dyers that attack military? So I know Carl was the same one that spat on him. I'm assuming it was a different one. So Masrani nods slightly. Then Rue remarks that they are in danger. Masrani asks from what, as they have already found and tracked all the remaining dinosaurs of Nublar. There is another chirp that makes Wu look around. He states that they missed one. So, how many Dilophosaurus are we gonna be? Are we gonna have the adults, or are they all just gonna be the juvenile ones? And are we gonna have any on-screen knowledge? I actually think I have a JP1 dino scene in here somewhere. Yes, there it is. I think this was someone's artwork I found on DeviantArt. Yeah. He said an adult and a child. Are you sure about that, Masrani? I like that. Let's put that line in. So instead of he states that they missed one, he states, are you sure of that? Masrani, Simon? Knowledge has returned. So at that point, we see several juvenile, I think so, several juvenile dilos. God, I cannot spell juvenile dilos. Appear from around them. They are looking at them all. Curious. Wu is obviously concerned. The workforce don't know what to do. One of them attempts kill one of the workers as a perk. Let's definitely have that. One of them attempts to scare a worker off. One of them attempts to scare the creature off. Dilo responds by flaring its frill. Wu shouts at the individual to... I don't know, how do you think... I think the obvious response if one of them tried to spit at you would probably be to turn your head quite quickly away. You wouldn't duck or you wouldn't crouch because that puts your neck into biting range. So the obvious would be to sort of look away, so you're at least still standing up. So Wu shouts at the individual to turn his head fast. However, the worker catches a full venom spray to the face and yells in pain as the other Dilo leap on him. leap on him and drag him into the bush. Dilo knowledge. So we've had Ceratosaurus knowledge, and we've got Dilo knowledge, and we've had assumed Spinosaurus knowledge. So we've got plenty of on-screen death, I think. I was Claire knowledge. I quite like the idea of at this point, like, Masrani is already on the phone to ACU to get him up here. After the phone call, he and Wu standing at the Jeep on the bus. I quite like the idea of him. Hello, Jurassic Chicken. Like Masrani and Wu having a conversation. Like Wu just mentioning how maybe Wu could mention that the spit and that was a completely unpredicted side effect of the process, and maybe Masrani mentions that he would like to have these in the park. He likes their... Like, Masrani likes them for some reason, and Wu... mentions maybe Wu mentions that they're only the juveniles and that the adult is still around somewhere, and Masrani will just look at him and be like, adult? Squares are more superior. Now, let's not have a shape off. Wu mentions the toxic spit was an unintended side effect of the cloning process. He likes it because of the color. I love that idea, Herman. It's like Masrani just sees this horrible poison-spitting dinosaur that's just dragged one of his workforce off into the bush to kill him, and Masrani is like, pretty colors. I love that idea. It's such a Hammond thing. Was it Ellie Sattler says the Hammond's got like poisonous plants and on the island. He's picked them because they look good, but they're actually horribly poisonous. And it's like, I think that's such a good callback, Herman. I love that. We'll have that. So the toxic spit was an unintended side effect of the cloning process. They had to use more alien, not alien. That would give the wrong idea. More external DNA, as they had very little of the dilo to work with. So we were also explaining why the Dilophosaurus looks so weird. It's because they had very little DNA to work with, so they've put more external animals into it. Masrani, I like them. The kids will love the colors. And the adults will love the show. Masrani could just blatantly tell Wu he doesn't care. Masrani doesn't come across like that. Masrani comes across... This will scare the kids, it will give the parents nightmares. Here's a good line. I think he could say that about Rexy, to be honest, Dino Ben. There hasn't been any problems for the stream, has there, for anyone? Because YouTube's... I'm watching it, and it keeps buffering persistently. So as long as it's coming through okay. So Ms. Rani says, I like them. The kids will love the colours and the adults will love the show. Woohoo. Maybe Woo could say, don't you think that they are a little dangerous? Ms. Rani. Not at all. After all, they aren't a T-Rex. Woo. We best find the adult then. Those were just juveniles. And Masrani will go adult. I'm just confused. So we're indicating, you know, correcting the old error that the JP1 Dilo is an actual fact a baby. We should talk about how they should be more realistic, because Masrani should give his key to a happy lifeline. We could have that later on, I suppose. So Act 3. We find the old visitor center. As long as they don't get out and kill all the children, we're fine. So we find the old visitor center, and Wu and Masrani are looking around. Maybe have some... So I think we could have Wu meeting like Claire Deering in like episode 5 when we're doing the episode about the Rex. The biosym from before, yes. Maybe we could... I kind of like the idea that Wu comes across them first and hides them, so no one else knows. So maybe he's already thinking about... Like, Wu finds, like, one of the bodies in, like, the lab somewhere, just hides it. Wu is inside the old... So... in the background, we hear... flashback speech from JP1. Ms. Rani is clearly awestruck, while Wu looks less impressed. In the labs, Wu, on his own, finds the dead body of one of the biosyn agents. He quickly takes something from the body. An ID card or something. And then hides the body out of sight. He then pretends, so out of sight, so he's hidden the body out of sight. Ms. Rani eventually catches up to him and asks if he's found anything, to which Wu states we had, and holds up a stack of old hard drives. What are you planning to do with Green Rexy? Well, we can decide that in a second. I like the idea that maybe we could say the, like, maybe we can link these newly rediscovered hard drives to the Spinosaurus on Isla Sorna. Maybe we could just like have the camera could just like pan onto a label on one of the hard drives that just says like SPN or SPN1 or Spino1 or Spino Project or Project Spino. Project Egypticus, because I believe Spinosaurus' full name is Spinosaurus Egypticus. So, I just quite like the idea of there being like a link to the Spinosaurus. Spoon Project, what? Okay. Camera pans onto one of the hard drives that has a label. On it that reads Project Egypticus. Or actually, it's a bit too much of a. Let's just go with Project Spino. Hello, Lima. As a reference to the Spinosaurus on Sorna. Wu mentions to Mizrani that he better have some better security than this base. Mizrani just jokingly states, spared no expense. I quite like that being the last sort of thing that's said inside the why have you got suddenly no sense? Oh, this one's just very quiet. I quite like the idea of the last line in the visitor center being like spared no expense. So, episode 5 is solely focused. So, this series ends days before Jurassic World first opens. Sorry, excuse me. So Jurassic World hasn't yet opened yet. This is the whole thing being this is the sort of the prequel to Jurassic World. So episode 5 is our big episode focused on Rexy. Being so everything to do with Rexy on Inside Jurassic World. Tim and Lex will be the next episode, Lima, yes. So this episode will also be back with Sarah Harding, Claire Dearing, maybe Finch, maybe Wu. So I did quite a lot of episode 4, so episode 5 I'm going to leave entirely to you guys. So Act 1, how is this episode going to open? Let's open the pub. A bunch of people go missing. They find the dice. Oh, that's where they went. Oh, Dino Ben. So Evo Triangle says we should open on Act 1 of Rexy already being in the enclosure. Rexy, maybe her eating and Wu watching. I like that. I like both those ideas, Herman and Lima. So... Okay, so... Opening shot on a goat. Goat is suddenly grabbed by a dinosaur and disappears. Camera pans out to see Rexy in all her glory. Make sure the raptor scars are visible. Camera pans backwards and around to see Wu in a sort of observation gallery, watching Rexy eat. Makes a note on his clipboard. Forgot the term there. Makes a note on his clipboard. Appetite fine. Appetite fine. Outside we see Claire Deering and Sarah Harding talking about the Rex. Harding questions whether Rexy can be a reliable and safe attraction given first park. Kill. Oh, Claire with an eye. Yes, it is. That is true. Well done, Heaven. Claire states that is why they have Dr. Wu here. Harding mentions that her friend, being Malcolm, met Dr. Wu once and found him a difficult individual to read or predict. Sarah pulls a tooth out on her and slashes the stuff. Wow! Evolution triangle, good god! Yeah. So we've now got like we've got Sarah Harding pulling out a raptor like a raptor claw or raptor tooth out and slashing her apart. The mask. So Claire and Sarah Harding walk into the observation gallery. Then what happens between them and Dr. Wu? I quite like the idea of like as they walk in, we see like a shot of Wu standing at the window with Rexy literally behind him. Not like trying to eat him or anything, just standing behind him as a sort of... I believe that sort of thing is called a prosthetic fallacy or something like that. I don't think... Actually, so Herman, the idea is we spoke about this in the last part. So Wu is going to get the idea from Biosyn, but that's only going to be revealed later on. I like that triangle. Now this is what I do. I like that. So, camera shot. The two women walk into the viewing gallery. We see Wu standing in front of the glass who turns around. The Rex stands there behind him, clearly very visible. Right behind. Wu just gives them his Cheshire smile and says, now this is now this is what this is what right. There goes over, clearly comfortable with him. That's a good poster. It would make a very good poster, wouldn't it? While Harding is more cautious and keeps her distance. She asks, how is the Rex? I quite like the idea of Wu actually using her name at this point. Like I like the idea of Wu saying to, like, correcting them, her name is Rexy, and they both look at him and he will just like remark that it was the name Hammond gave her. So we actually have on-screen confirmation that Rexy is her name. She is indeed old. We could probably mention that, actually. We can have Wu, like, say that Rexy is getting towards her golden years, but she still has a long time to go, or something like that. She asks, how is the Rex? Wu states, her name is Rexy. And then explains that it was the name that Hammond gave her. Claire makes a note in a notepad, mentioning that would be good for the marketing. Wu mentions that Rexy is fine, considering her age, but says that she still has a good many years left in her. Where is Cabot Finch? Oh, I think we could do something quite funny with Cabot and the Rex. That's true, Lima. We could. We could put that in one of the later acts. Marketing. Maybe we could have Harding will ask about scars. which Wu says he is unsure what made them. However, thinks that they might have been raptors. Because obviously neither Wu nor Harding nor anyone, apart from Grant and the kids, will know what caused Rexy's scars. So maybe something that is a Rex to scratch her back and see. Hello walks in, you don't know. Well, given that we've got Lex and Tim coming back in the next episode, they can actually explain, can't they? So that would work. Neron, hello. I'm going to take this opportunity about 1 hour in to please remember to like the stream, everyone, because that really does help with the algorithm.
Sell out.
I know it's a bit sell-outy to do, but we've got to fight that algorithm.
I know, I'm being a jokester.
Sarah Harding was in the visitor centre with them whilst Rex fought the Raptors. No, that's... So Sarah Harding is the one from the Lost World. The... I think you're getting her confused with Ellie Sattler there, Lima. I actually think we'll actually just have Wu say he's unsure what made them, so then that way we can have Tim and Lex reveal the truth. So, Act 2. So we've had them talk about... Leave me alone, I'm tired. Hello, Sunlight. So we've had Wu and Harding and Claire talk about the Rex. We've seen the Rexy in the pad. Something with Finch. Maybe we could have I like the idea of like the Rex being in her enclosure and Finch having a look, and then like the Rex trying to eat him through the glass, just creeping him out a bit. Just having a look is there anything we haven't? Dodgson again. I reckon we could have something to do with Dodgson in the next episode. This is why I don't like these things. Definitely Evo Truck. Okay, so Act 2. Rexy being moved to her fully constructed enclosure. Time has passed. The Innovation Center pyramid is halfway complete. So last time we saw it was just starting. So that gives we give the viewers a bit of an indication that time has passed by the fact that the Innovation Center is kind of a bit more complete. I like the idea that the Innovation Center was always there from the very start, and they just over the years just refitted it and improved it. Because it's kind of like in the very center of the park, and you wouldn't like open the park and then build an entire new center for the park, because that would be very disruptive. So you would build like the centerpiece to your park first. Otherwise, it would be like Disneyland building the castle 10 years after it opened. Or I don't know. I've never been to Disneyland. I'm assuming there's a castle there. Because I feel like we need Cabot to be the one that's working from the inside for Dodgson. I think we agreed that actually Dodgson would be working on his own, and we wouldn't make Cabot to. I think we'd make it unclear whether Cabot was working for him or not. Possibly. I don't think we agreed. I'll have to go back and check the first stream we did. In this, that is true, Jurassic Chicken. If we go based on the enclosure sizes we see in the film, the Rexy enclosure is small. In this, Claire calls Rexy our most valuable product. This is what they'll come to see. Yes, it's a dinosaur. Okay. I think Neron, that's more likely to come from Masrani than it is from Claire. So Rexy's been moved to a fully new enclosure. The innovation center is halfway complete. We see Masrani and the others watching the process. Masrani mentions that Rexy will be our most valuable asset in the early days of the park, which Claire agrees with. Harding, Wu can mention, so this Wu mentions having a juvenile Rex on standby just in case Rexy dies too soon. This is my little money maker. Dodson creates a new park in San Diego. I feel like Masrani could mention the Rexy's the most valuable product, and then Wu matters for now under his breath. Ooh. I like that. Wu mutters for now under his breath. Because I'm assuming at this point we would be referring to the Spinosaurus, which is going to be in episode 7. But I feel like we could mention the Spino, or like do something with the Spino in this episode. Finch is with them. Rexy is released and released. Checks out her paddock. All looks good. Everyone leaves. Finch watches them go before looking back to see Rexy trying to eat him through the glass. Slash licking at the glass. Slash staring at him. Visibly creeping him out. And making him back off. Hello, Predator. Yeah, definitely Lima, for sure. So in Act 3, I think we should focus on Wu is alone in the lands. It is dark. Dim lighting. Suspicious. We see the old Biosyn badge laying on the desk. Splattered with blood. Wu puts a phone down, indicating Perhaps he was on the phone to Bison. He starts up a laptop and plugs in several of the drives. Takes a walkie-talkie to listen. Ooh. Actually, I like that, like taking one of their walkie-talkies to listen in. I reckon we could come back to that. Maybe we could actually, so in addition to the badge, splattered with blood, and a walkie-talkie / in-ear speaker, headphone. So we could come back to that. I like that idea, Evolution Triangle, because obviously Biosin are going to come to the island towards the end. So if we give Wu that in-ear headphone that he can listen in, that would be how Wu finds Dodgson. Because we know that Dodgson is going to die in this. Or at least Dodgson is going to give Wu the idea for the Indominus Rex. So Wu plugs in several of the hard drives. We see a number of dinosaurs come up. So let's have the Trikes come up. The I think we can have the Corythosaurus come up because because that was a JP3 dino. Are you going to connect this to Jurassic World Dominion? Would be cool. I think it would be very difficult because we have no idea what's going to happen in Dominion. So Edmontosaurus is in the dino list to pop up. I think we could have like the Edmonto, the Homalocephali, and the Trikes in the Tim and Lex episode because, you know, they're nice, happy, chilled dinosaurs. Trikes, Corythosaurus, Brachy. The Raptors pop up. Which Wu seems to linger on before he switches to a different hard drive. We see on that hard drive the Sauroraptors and the Spinosaurus, as well as Lex may be able to finally pet one. I like that, Lena. Is the Memenchi in this? Yes, Evolution Triangle. The Memenchi is in. In fact, we've already had the Memenchi on the screen at this point. We see the hard drive has Sauroraptors and Spinosaurus. Wu is obviously... Wu starts working on the... Wu just rubs his chin thoughtfully. While looking at the Spinosaurus and makes a note on his pad. What can this note say? Maybe we can just have it as still alive, question mark? So we leave Wu looking at all of his secretive hard drives. And switch to Claire. There was that Nasuto Ceratops scene. I think we should like have Claire and Sarah talking. The youngster Nasuto, who took a liking to Claire, with kill Claire. No evolution triangle. We cannot have Claire Deering being skewered by a Nasuto Ceratops. Evolution triangle. I'm slightly concerned at your level of hatred that you have for Claire Deering at this point. Harding asks Claire what she thinks of. Harding warns Claire. I think Harding warns Claire that Wu is not only unpredictable, but someone who is damn smart and usually works. And people like him, actually, people like him usually work multiple angles. She tells Claire to treat him like a lion. Don't turn your back on him. See you later, Jurassic Chicken. Thank you for joining in. At the end, can we have like a past Dominion thing where Claire dies because of her madness, please? No! Evolution Triangle, we cannot have the cutest dinosaur in evolution kill Claire Deering. And Dane is in the background. Yes, Dane is reading manga currently, so he's
I was told not to buy it, I'm about to have candy.
What? We don't have any sweets in the house.
Yes, we do. We have two Swiss rolls.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not candy, though, is it?
It is.
Okay.
Also, we very much do have candy, of course.
Fletcher warns, but types warns. Oh, yes. Thank you. My spelling is not good when I'm fast typing. Claire cannot die. Don't turn your back on me, Claire. It doesn't hurt it wasn't him. Is Dane asking for shampoo? No, right, so we have Sarah Harding warning Claire about Wu and not to turn your back on him. Maybe we could have something with Dodgson. So Dodgson meets with a few of the with one of the survivors from the failed attempt to investigate the bar. Actually, no, I feel like we need to be careful how much we put Dodgson on screen, because otherwise it loses some of the mystery. I wonder why they replaced the Raptors with the Raptor squad, they didn't replace Rexy. Well, the Raptors in JP1 were killed by Rexy. And the Raptors in JP2 were rapidly different to the Raptors in JP3. I mean, they're so different that it is almost, I think, confirmed that the Raptors on JP3 were made at some point after the events of the Lost World, because they're so radically different. Maybe we could have Finch. Finch is talking to someone on the phones. Unclear who, but Finch is clearly being pressured by someone. someone to do something he doesn't want to do. We ignore JP3 at all costs. No, we ignore Fallen Kingdom at all costs, Eagles. That's the one we don't want to. We don't want to consider. Finch eventually agrees, but we don't know what to. He looks concerned. He looks out the hotel window on the whole park, or the whole park as it is on opening day. All in construction. Maybe we see Dodson coming into a town with monitors that have cameras at work. Is there any season also? I don't know, Neron, about that. I don't think Dodson. Maybe. I'm not sure. So is Finch being blackmailed to give biasing information? Well, that's the thing. I think instead of making Finch the obvious bad guy, I think we can just present him as someone who may very well be working for somebody else, but we're not ever 100% certain. Because immediately, so Finch is being pressured by someone on the phone. Immediately after this is the Tim and Lex episode, and I think we could have a throwaway line in there about Finch saying he's happy to have Tim and Lex there on the island because it was almost impossible to say no to whoever it was, someone. So, but we can always have the undertale of whether Finch is being entirely truthful or not. So that is that's episode 5, a relatively easy. Oh no, I think we'll end the episode. Actually, we need to. Episode ends with the roar of Rexy echoing in the dark. So. It's an hour and a half in. I was going to go for 2 hours, so we have half an hour to come up with episode 6, which is the Tim and Lex episode. So there's plenty of JP1 nostalgia that can go into this one. But I think it's important that we foreshadow the Spinosaurus as well. So at some point in this episode we should have Wu talking to someone about the Spinosaurus. Assuming people are typing and thinking of things for the Tim and Lex episode. Chad, you gonna wake up? So chat, episode 6, are we coming up with ideas? I fear the chat may have frozen. Chat has broken. Oh no, there we go. That seems to have woken up slightly. I don't know what happened there. That was very bizarre. I just had to switch chats around a bit. Ooh, let me scroll up and see what I missed. Cannibal Raptor, Finch being blackmailed. Can't kill Finch. No, we can't kill Finch. Let Lex stay stranded on the island. Fletcher, we need confirmation that the raptor that dies in the freezer was the way they got the DNA of the raptors, and Tim was like, I remember that one in his head. Don't know, maybe we can have some sort of reference to that freezer scene. Is the Spinosaurus dying? Because that affects my idea about the conversation. I think we're going to kill the Spinosaurus in this show, so... Tim talking to the Spinosaurus. It's music from Jurassic World Evolution, Neurons. It's the only copyright-free stuff I'm allowed to have. Henry, we could be talking to Masrani about what environmental needs the Spinosaurus demands. Yes, so we could do that in Act 2, actually, Lima. Just cut her... okay, Lex is glad to be back and Tim is a bit anxious, so this would be an episode... Is Lex trying to bring Tim's dino love back? I really like that idea, Neuron. Lex wakes up from a night. No, I like Tim. I like the idea of Tim being the one with the nightmares. Actually, I really like that. So, we have a dream sequence. Young Tim is running in the forest, something chasing. Maybe the old JP1 Raptors. So JP1 Raptors eventually catch up to him and assume kill. Tim lurches awake with a lurches awake. Obviously been having a nightmare. Grant bullies him. Oh, Moosh, that's so harsh. Like a flashback from the JPX and they sleep in the tree and Tim wakes up from a nightmare, he goes forward to the raptor core, ground for it when he picks it up. Managed to make his way to the car in the dream, but Grant won't let him in. Oh god, Moosh, I love that. Actually, I love that idea. JP Raptors chasing. Because Grant was really harsh to him, chasing him. Chasing that. He reaches a JP1 Jeep, but Grant stops him from getting in. And is then attacked by raptors. I love that idea, Moosh. thing is more terrified of electricity. There's a thunderstorm. Oh, or is it forest? In a thunderstorm. I love the fact we're coming up with a perfect nightmare for Tim here. Evolution triangle, stop it. Why don't you ride in the other car? Ride in the other car. I like that. It's such a God, we have come up with the worst nightmare for this poor child. Oh, that poor kid. Right, so Tim lurches awake, obviously being in a nightmare. He is in a chopper. Get on the chopper. With Lex. Are they going to be in the chopper on their own? I think we could have them with Sarah, maybe. I shall not stop until Claire either dies in Jurassic World Dominion or in this show as an epilogue. Oh, I feel at some point there needs to be. I need to do like a stream where we rate the characters of Jurassic World Evolution. Because there's those coloured rating things, and I can see just how far up we hate Claire Deering. For me, it's a toss-up between Claire Deering or the entertainment guy. The entertainment guy is damn annoying. I really don't like him. They are flying the chopper, says Donovan. I don't know. I think that's a bit much. I think we can just have them in a chopper with Lex on the way to Nublar. Lex looks calm. Professional. Tim looks more anxious. Lex just says to Tim, nightmares again. To which Tim says, they never really stopped. Lex just smiles sadly at her brother as they fly over the island. Masrani is flying. Possibly. Grant on top, Malcolm, then Hammond, Dennis is not a character than the last, at least Claire. No raptors, don't worry, come on, this isn't the past, just try to enjoy yourself. Oh, yeah, the Vegisaur, right, yes. Lex says, this isn't the past. Just remember what, Grandpa said. No raptors. Actually, just remember what Grandpa said. Try to enjoy yourself. I'm sure there's plenty of Vegisaurus to look at. Okay, that's good. Grant is worse. Ian is good. Grant is good. It's a Vegisaurus. Okay, so we have them approaching the island. Shot of the chopper flying over the Rex enclosure. Rexy watches it intently, as if knowing the people inside. From the chopper, Lex sees the Rex beneath, watching her, and frowns slightly, as if recognizing the look. Fletcher, who is your favourite Jurassic Park character? Ooh. I think I probably like Alan Grant or Robert Muldoon. As much as Robert Muldoon does not act like the hunter he supposedly is, he has some really good lines. And Grant is just good in general. So Act 2. Who's gonna meet them off the helicopter? Masrani? Masrani meets them off the chopper, really excited about his first unofficial guests. I have a crush on Alan Grant and I'm not apologetic to it. I think Kit Crazy would agree with you there, Neron. Claire falls over and is sucked up into the helicopter blades. Evolution Triangle. I feel like I need to list down all these different methods that the chat has come up with to kill Claire Deering. And we should like get everyone on Evo's Discord to rank them as which one they find is the best. Go away, Smart Scan, honestly. So, Masrani Finch is with him and says something along the lines of, well, it was almost impossible to say no to having them here. We need a stream where we try to come up with the most creative death for Claire. I'm not entirely sure that's something that YouTube would be happy to have on here. I think that would be... yeah. How will we get demonetized without even being in that position? Well, that stream. Okay, Dino Army, come on. Dear me. So, it's almost impossible to say no to having them here. Yes, okay, lovely. No threats. Go away, Avast. Blimey. So... we then watch Tim and Lex going round what parts of the park and dinosaurs are ready. A bit like we see at the start of JUW1. We see the Menchies again. Which makes Lex smile. We also see the Edmontos, Montosaurus enclosure, where Lex and Tim feed them through the fencing, and the trike. box with corrected JP skin. JP colours, I should say. Which makes Tim remark about the grant and then on in JP1. Welcome, I'm really happy you're here. Looks like Tim is everything. Yeah, just that bedroom. Well, I hope it disappears. It will. Make it worse. Can we kick Claire? I hope Tim disappears. Please. I think that's enough death wishes, Triangle. Which makes Tim and Rock, blah, 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 blah. I think we need to have the Homalocephaly as well. Tim and Lex are having lunch with Sarah and Claire next to the new Homalocephaly enclosure. Tim and Lex talk about general things with Sarah and Claire. Claire mentions that they just finished the Rex enclosure. Lex or asks where they got the Rex. And Claire states that they found her still on the island. Lex then explains, or Lex then, so Lex states, so it is the same Rex. Then explains the events at the end of JP. I think the Homalocephaly is the first thing to make Tim happy. I like that idea. The Homalocephaly can rescue Tim's love of dinosaurs. Lex is eating green jelly. Green jelly. Have one of the Homalocephaly boop Claire under a big dino's foot. Claire gets sacrificed by being thrown into Mount Seaway. Good God. Lex dies of deja vu and then Claire dies of confusedness and we can all be happy. God. Oh dear. Why are you guys not like this on Evo's streams? Just filling the chat full of horrible deaths for Claire Deering. I hope no one from Frontier is watching. Tim is convinced closer to the fences by a curious Homalocephaly to share. Well, he feeds the Homalo, which gives him affectionate head bumps. Tim is put more at ease and inferred that the Homalo has slightly saved his love of dinosaurs, which to this point has been missing. We get a better reaction from you. That's quite possibly, actually. Should Lex and Tim, like, bump into Dr. Wu, like, unexpectedly? At a later point, they are both walking to the walking around the still under construction main street when they bump into Dr. Wu. Lex and Tim are surprised. Wu just smiles in his way and greets them again. Lex is very hostile. He clearly doesn't want to be around him. Says that she blames him for everything that happened to their grandfather. Dr. Wu, not Dr. Wu. Lex and Tim bump tear into the volcano. No, no more volcanoes. I think maybe we should have something here. I'm just not. If you guys carry on, I will just ignore the chat. This is what will happen. Wu remarks that Hammond knew what he was getting into, and that all Wu did was create the dinosaurs. He wasn't responsible for what they did. So we can have Wu just basically ignoring any responsibility to I did. I'm just. I don't know. I kind of like the idea that we don't want too much of Masrani in, and we had plenty of Masrani in the other episodes, so. So we've got 5 minutes. So how is this episode going to end? So Tim and Lex have gone around the park. We've had Tim have his love of dinosaurs returned. Tim and Lex back on the chopper. Tim has a model of a homelocephaly in his hand. And seems more cheerful. Lex is visibly glad. As they leave the park, Harding is on the phone to Hammond, telling him it all went well. Your stream chat needs help. I think everyone in this chat needs help. I didn't think there was any need to have a moderator around. I like that, Neron. Tim says, I think this one is favorite now. To which Lex responds, I think so too. You'll need help. I don't need help. We'll see about that. I think that can be about it for like the Tim and Lex episode, because really the Tim and Lex episode is just in there for a little bit of it's like the nostalgia episode, and also kind of it finishes the story of Tim and Lex, which kind of went unfinished. They never show up again, and I don't know. It felt like they weren't. Both Tim and Lex didn't get sufficient payoff. Alan Grant had a whole new movie. Ian Malcolm had a whole new movie. Tim and Lex didn't really get much of a chance. Even Hammond got, both the beginning of Lost World and the end, said the last things of the Lost World. So I think that's a good place to go. So we have 3 episodes left to write, which could easily make up one more stream. No, 4 episodes left to write. So that could easily be a long stream at some point, maybe next week. Oh, yes, Neron, I love that. Actually, we'll put that in there. Episode ends with an email to Dr. Wu stating, it's here, and then an image of the JP3 Spino in a transport cage. Love it. Good call, Neron. So then in episode 7 we'll have the Spinosaurus focused episode. In episode 8 I want the idea of like a sort of like a protest episode with Ian Malcolm and being involved. Episode 9 we're having the documentary crew, which is going to be Biosin, and Claire's Nasutoceratops dies. And then episode 10 we have like the park literally about to open, and yeah, it should be fun. This is turning into quite a substantial and interesting show. I feel like what I'm going to do after it's like all completed is maybe have I don't know, maybe me and Lima can have a go at actually script writing one of the episodes entirely. And we can see where that goes. I might make a park for this in Jurassic World Evolution 1. Because all these dinosaurs are ones, obviously, we have, including the adult Dilophosaurus even. So we could definitely have this as a park for JWE1. Yeah, I could do that. Anyway, so we're going to stop there for today's stream, since that is 2 hours. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you have not already done so. And if you are watching this after the fact, and you are new to the channel, please remember to subscribe to hear more from Triclaw Gaming. We are still working towards our 100 subscribers. We're getting closer. Yeah, I want to thank everyone in the chat for being part of this script writing. You could get it animated by someone, possibly Neron. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how much interest there is. But anyway, thank you everyone for joining in. I will see most of you. Well, I will see you all on the Evo's Discord, and yeah, thank you. See you later.